everybody. Welcome to Volume 1 of the Principal's Office Hour. I have been thinking about doing this for a while. It's been so long since I have done any kind of a whip and chat whatsoever. I have been being totally transparent. I have been extremely nervous about this all day long. But I realized I can't overthink this, because whenever I overthink stuff, it ends up working out not in a good way, and not any way that that makes me happy. So I'm just going to talk, because as most of you know, I can talk the paint off of a wall. Welcome to Volume 1 of the Principal's Office Hour. Let me kind of talk with you a little bit about the structure of how this is going to work and what's going to happen. And I'll tell you a little bit about what it is and what it's not. First of all, I am going to start out doing these on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. So this is the second Wednesday of October, and I will do it the fourth Wednesday of October. I do not have my calendar with me. I'm sorry for being unprepared. But the fourth Wednesday in October will be the second volume of Principal's Office Hour. So second and fourth Wednesdays right now. Depending on how this goes, I may add some volumes each month. I may go to once a week, but right now I'm just seeing how this goes. I am putting myself out there and being super vulnerable. I have done hundreds of videos, but this is very nerve-wracking because, anytime you try something new, it's a little daunting. So that's kind of where I am with that. So if I ramble a little bit on this first volume, please forgive me. So we've already talked about the second and fourth Wednesday of each month, more if called for. I will be depending on you guys' feedback on this. Do you like this type of thing? Do you like this type of format? Anything that I can do differently in order to help you have a better experience? I'm all about that. So I'm depending on you to give me some good feedback, because I take that and I use it and I make changes based on what you have to say. Why am I doing this? Why did I decide to start whip and chats again, or a whip and chat format again, and use these topics as kind of the base of, what I'm going to be talking about? I just feel like everybody at any time needs some positivity injected into their life. I love listening to people and reading books that inspire and uplift me. And that is what I'm trying to provide here in this space during these times, is just, some positivity, some things that will make you think, some things to inspire you. And hopefully that I can do that and I can get that done. As most of you know, I spent 30 years in education. I was teacher, instructional coordinator, assistant principal, and principal, and I became a principal at 29. So I've been a principal for a long time, or had been a principal for a long time. But part of my job as a principal, I got a master's degree in educational administration and a specialization in leadership. Well, part of leadership is inspiring people, helping them to do their jobs with a full heart, knowing exactly why they were doing what they were doing, or helping them to remember why they were doing what they were doing, why they love kids, why they love educating. And that was all part of what I did. And I took that part of my role very seriously. And I felt like I was pretty good at doing that, motivating, inspiring, injecting some positivity, even if it was for a short time, and giving the teacher something to talk about. So that's what I wanted to bring to this space. When I think about doing something, I think about what I can do well and what I can contribute to the diamond painting world. And I think that's something, I'm not good at a lot of stuff, but I think I'm good at that. And I think I can provide that for this space. So this format is going to be like any other whip and chat you're used to seeing. I'm going to work, pull out a craft. This is going to be for about an hour. I'm timing this. Open up my computer and note the time. So we've got about an hour together. As all of you know from my lives, I do value your time, so I won't go over an hour. It may be a little bit shorter, and that's okay. But I won't go over an hour. I'm going to work, you're going to work on something, or you can use this as an audio book, a podcast, listen while you're at the gym or walking or in your car or driving somewhere. You don't really have to look at anything. I'm going to have you look at one thing when we start this first volume, but most of the volumes I'm just going to be working on my diamond painting and talking. And that's how it's going to be like any other whip and chat that you're used to. What you're not going to be used to, though, is the topic or the topics I'm going to cover. It's going to be a different topic every single principal's office hour. And they're all going to be positive and inspiring. I'm not going to go over anything controversial. RPMs are not allowed. Religion, politics, money. We're not going to talk about that because everybody has a different view on that. And I just feel like those aren't good topics to discuss whether with anybody. So we're not going to go there. They're going to be things that I think people can come together over and have discussions over. You can talk to your friends about it, your spouse, your kids. This is a pretty G-rated space. So, and I hope that if I hit a topic that maybe you know somebody that's going through something or needs some positivity, please feel free to share this. Again, I'm not doing this to increase my subscribers, to increase, views, nothing like that. And, I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm not trying to sell you something or do anything like that. I'm just trying to inject some positivity into our space together. So that's why I'm doing this. So just a positive shot of some material that will help maybe uplift you and inspire you. The two byproducts that I'm really hoping that people get out of this, besides the positivity, are connection and knowing that you matter. Two fundamental needs of all of us on planet Earth, all us humans on planet Earth, are to connect with others and to know that we matter. You matter. What you do in your life and the things that you do have an impact on the world around you, whether you realize it or not. So connecting with others is also super important. So if somebody says something in the comments that you agree with, there's a connection there. I'm going to ask that you keep the comments positive. We're not going to get in debates in the comments about who's right, who's wrong, because everyone is going to take the subject matter that I'm going to be presenting differently, and it's going to mean something different to every person, and that's okay. That's why I'm doing it. That's why we're all here. So, but you may connect with somebody on a thought that they had, or you might learn something new from a thought that somebody had. So please feel free to contribute in the comments, but keep it kind and courteous and positive. If you have questions, please feel free to ask those. I'm happy to answer those. Okay. So again, connection and knowing that what we do in our day-to-day lives and everything that we do, matters. And I also hope to find out about myself in the process. I'm just talking. I have a few notes and an outline to go by during this time, just to keep me on track, because I am attention deficit big time, and my brain can wander a million places. So in order to keep me on track, I just kind of have a little outline of talking points, but that's to keep me on track. But this is going to be primarily off the cuff talking. I speak better extemporaneously anyway. If I have a prepared speech, I'm going to mess it up every single time. So I just like talking because I feel like things come up from time to time that may not be in a script that maybe something powerful that I share that someone can take away with them. And I don't want to limit my comments. So, again, use this like a regular whip and chat. Get out something to craft with. Get your Diet Coke or your coffee and settle in. I'm going to go over what this is and what this isn't. I find that, I found that in a classroom when I taught kids examples and non-examples, they tended to understand a little bit better. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about what this principal's office hour is and what it's not. Okay. What it is. It's a positive space. I've already said that. It's a judgment-free zone. I'm going to be talking about things, and like I said, I'm not preaching at you and I'm not judging anybody. I mean, heck, nobody's here. It's just me and the phone that's recording this. I am absolutely not perfect in any of this stuff. And I have to remind myself of this stuff consistently. And I will name no names on these principal office hours except for mine. Okay. I will use myself as an example. I will call myself out on stuff that I struggle with or fall short on. This is going to help me, hopefully, as much as it's going to help you. So again, it's a no judgment zone. I hope to find out just as much as you do through just me talking about a subject. I want it to be a place that connects us. I want it to be a place that lifts you up. That's what this is supposed to do, is lift you up and inspire you and give you something to think about. And again, talk about it to other people. And if you feel compelled, if somebody needs to hear this or hear a story I share or an anecdote I share, please feel free to share the video. This is to lift people up, okay? This isn't really about me. It's about you and what I can give to you in order to maybe think about things a little bit, okay? What it's not. This is not preaching, okay? Because again, I fall short on the stuff I'm going to talk to you about time and time again. It's not preaching. I'm not saying I'm better than or, oh, I know this stuff and I'm so good at it all, because I am not. Absolutely not. It's not judging. It's not me having all the answers, because I'm not going to have all the answers. I do not have a degree in psychology or psychiatry. I have a degree in educational leadership, okay? But I feel like I've lived these 56 years and have learned so much, and I've lived a full life already and have found out so much by working with other people. I mean, I worked at schools with 1,200 kids and 100 staff members, most of them being women, which was, interesting in itself. And the dynamics and the getting along parallel us in diamond painting world so much. It's not even funny. I'm like, yeah, I remember those types of things happening. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there may be men watching, and men add so much to a social mix that it's not even funny. Thank goodness that we have them there. And I'm speaking as a woman, so I'm not being sexist here, okay, guys? But anyway, it's not me having all the answers. And again, it's not discussions on controversial topics whatsoever. It's a positive space to inspire and uplift you. So that's what this is. All right. So before I start, I do have an excerpt from a speech to read to you that I just have used this so many times in my career and in my life. And I think that you'll identify with it too once I read it to you and we start talking about what we're going to talk about. But before I get into that, I wanted to share with you what I'm doing. I am working on the spiral. This is my canvas for drills and chills, and I have enjoyed so much working on it. It's this piece right here. It's an Ivy Dollamore, and I'm excited to be working on it. The containers, my storage containers are the Diamond Art Club storage containers. This is my first time using them. I'm liking them. I do have a shot glass. Let's talk about the shot glass, because I use this all the time. I'm not drinking, Okay, I have a Diet Dr. Pepper here. This shot glass is not for alcohol, it's for trash drills. Berta gave me this from Alaska. It's beautiful. It's got the Aurora Borealis and the little huskies, and it says Alaska. But I use it to put my drills in. So in case anyone was wondering what this shot glass was for, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's for my trash drills. I promise I'm not taking shots of tequila or anything. So I've got that. My tray over here, I'm not sure how much of you can see. This tray is from Leopard Leather Works. I love it. I use it all the time. These are my replacement drills that I'm replacing on the canvas. They are all from DP with Sparklers. They've been so fun to work with, and I've done a lot of replacing. Don't ask me where my pen is from. I have absolutely no idea where it's from. I just thought it was pretty and matched the canvas, so I picked it out. I'm sorry, I cannot remember where I got this pen from. My tips on my pen are from Diamond Art Club. It's a 9-placer and a single placer. My cover minder is from Shine Shop Designs. I got this a while back from Beth, Sweet Beth, that owns Shine Shop Designs on Etsy. It's a steampunk owl, so I loved it. It kind of fit the fall vibe that's going on. My tray is from Firefly. It is I ordered it for Drills and Chills. It's the Drills and Chills tray. I love it. Love me some Firefly. My tweezers, I've had for a long time. These are from Sparkle Queen. I think I got them in a kit. They're the scoop tweezer, so if I have to move drills around, I use those. My wax that I'm using is Patty Wax. You know, I'm a Patty Wax girl. That's what I'm using. And my release papers are from Crafts with Crashly, my Halloween release papers. So now that we've got all the particulars out of the way, let's start. Principal's Office Hour, Hour 1, or Volume 1, okay? I have like I said, an excerpt from a speech that Theodore Roosevelt gave on April 23rd, 1910. And it's from his speech, Citizenship in a Republic. It was delivered to the Sorbonne in Paris, France. And I was introduced to this excerpt from an author, and she is an amazing person. I've had the opportunity to meet her and work with her in person. She came to our district, and I was one of 8 principals that got selected to work with Brene Brown. Brene Brown has written several books, but her first book is called Daring Greatly. And I have read that book from cover to cover several times. Highly, highly recommend it to anybody. It's an easy read, and it just, again, it's a shot in the arm of she is just amazing. Her work primarily is in the area of vulnerability, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, whether you screw up, don't screw up, whatever, and how to live a more authentic life. Okay. The biggest compliment someone could ever pay me is, Kara, you're just real. You're just a real person doing your thing. And whenever teachers would say that, or people that watch my channel say that when they meet me at a retreat or whatever, that is the highest compliment I can get paid, because that's who I am. And what you see is what you're going to get. And living an authentic life, to me, sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's important. But that's really hard for people. And that's what Daring Greatly, the book from Brene Brown, is all about. But the beginning of the book has the excerpt from this speech. I'm going to read it to you now. The Man in the Arena. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. It's a powerful excerpt, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I am that man in the arena. This is uncomfortable right now for me. I'm certain I will get better at it, but this is an uncomfortable space to be. I'm trying to watch time, as I just did. I'm trying to diamond paint, and I'm trying to talk about a pretty, it's a pretty important topic about being in an arena. So I'm going to use the arena and the spectators as, again, kind of a metaphor for us in our daily lives and what we do and how we dare greatly. How do we bring ourselves to dare greatly? And if someone else is daring greatly, what value are we adding as spectators in their arena? Okay, because yeah, we need to get out there and we need to live our passion and what we're passionate about. We need to be brave, and we need to try things that scare us a little bit, and we need to be in the arena, but we also need to be good spectators surrounding the arena. Okay, so there are a whole lot of things that I've written notes about. So the first question I have, and I'm going to go ahead and start diamond painting. What is your arena, or what would be an arena for you? An arena for you might be something that scares you. It might be something that you have been thinking about a long time, but haven't done because it puts you in a position of possibly criticism, possibly getting out in front of people that you might not be comfortable getting out in front of. Your arena might be a family issue or something that you have needed to tell a friend but have been too afraid to share. So if you think for a minute about what your arena is, it could be a multitude of things. I have many arenas in my life, things that I just don't like to do. I'm asking for your feedback on this. Giving honest feedback is tough for me, especially when the news isn't great. Some people are better at it than others. I've had to practice a long time at getting good at that. Conflict is an arena of mine. I don't like it at all. So you can imagine me being a principal and not liking conflict. That's pretty funny, but I didn't like it. I avoided it at all costs. I remember when we interviewed applicants for jobs, I would do everything in my power for as long as I could to avoid contacting the people that didn't get the job. It was easy to call the person that got the job. Try calling the people that didn't get the job. And I had told those people, and I am true to my word, so I did it. I didn't like it, but I had to call the people that didn't get the job. That was not fun. Not fun at all. Calling the people that got it, that was fun. But that was an arena for me because most of the time when I'd call those people, they would say, okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, and hang up. But there were those people that would say, well, can you tell me why? What can I do better next time? And that was uncomfortable, but I had to prepare myself that would come up, and they wanted feedback, and, they wanted a job, obviously. They wanted to do a good job in interviewing. And so, I took that opportunity to talk with them a little bit about possibly some things that they could do, look into, what have you, but it wasn't fun. I did not like that whatsoever. So there are a lot of areas in your life that are the arena, and being vulnerable and being real is sometimes uncomfortable for people. Even down to social media. We put our best foot forward in social media. If you don't think that this dining room table isn't cleared off and polished down before I do an unboxing, you're mistaken. I also make sure there's no dog blanket laying on the floor. If I have a mess, I clean it up because I want it to be as aesthetically pleasing as possible. Plus, I don't want it to be distracting to people when I'm unboxing stuff, but nothing cleans your house faster than when you have company. So when we put ourselves out there on social media, we try to put our best foot forward. Nobody you know, nobody wants to get out there and blunder and fail and, you know, not look as good as they possibly can. And that's human nature. That is natural. In fact, when Marlon came in to set up the camera for this whip and chat, I was literally, oh God, these drills are crooked. They're going to see that they're crooked, that they're not perfect. I'm supposed to know what the heck I'm doing. You know what? It is what it is. This is what it is. This is real life. This is what happens in real life. And look at me still trying to straighten out these drills. This is what happens in real life. And I will fix the drills. So those of you that have already been looking here going, oh my God, her drills are driving me crazy, I will straighten them out. I promise. But again, these are all things that are people's arena. You're opening yourself up. You're being vulnerable. So what is your arena? What have you been wanting to do, but possibly have been avoiding because it's going to be tough? It's going to be hard. Okay. My next question on the flip side of that, if we are spectators in somebody else's arena, right? If we're the spectators, how can we be good spectators? How can we provide good feedback? How can we provide constructive criticism? How can we help people be better? How can we lift people up and not clip their wings in the process of giving them some feedback? Okay, I've asked for feedback on this video, but y'all, I'm telling you right now, I'm nervous, and you're gonna have to be gentle with me. There are times when you can rip the Band-Aid off with me, and there are times when I'm just going to need slow, gentle feedback. This is a time for slow, gentle feedback. And that's okay. But one of the things that I was thinking about on how we can be good spectators to other people in the arena, right? If somebody else is standing there and being vulnerable in front of us. Not everybody needs every one of my opinions all the time. I might want to give them. I really might want to give them, but they don't need them all the time. There's a time, there's a place. One of the biggest lessons that I have learned as a person, as a leader, is to stop and take a breath. I am a very emotional person. I'm very reactionary. I want stuff done now. Well, if I don't do it now, I won't think of it later. That's okay. Stop and take a breath. Sleep on it. It may be somebody that's been honest with you and hasn't given you the best news, or you think somebody's wronged you by their giving you feedback or what have you. Sleep on it before, or at least take a step back and cool down before you respond. I promise you'll wake up one of three ways. First way is you will wake up and you won't even care about it anymore. That's happened to me so many times. I've woken up and gone, why was I even mad about that? When I look at it this way, I don't even care about that anymore. The second way is you will feel exactly the same and feel like you need to state your opinion, which again, no one needs 24/7 all the time. Just remember that. I have to remember it. Or you could wake up with a completely different response in, giving your opinion than what it started off being. So lots of things can happen when you just take a step back and take a breath. And that's really, really hard for me to do because I want to give you my opinion. I want to tell you what I think. My whole job as a principal was fixing things for people. But I found out that sometimes when people came into my office, they didn't need stuff fixed. They just needed me to listen. So I ended up starting to say, how would you like for me to respond? When someone came in and would say, Kara, sit down, I got to talk to you about something. I would say, okay, how do you want me to respond? Do you need feedback? Do you want me to just listen? I would really ask them that because, again, it took a lot because I was a fixer. I fix your problems. You come in, you tell me what's wrong. I tell you what I think. Voila, your problem is fixed. Go forth and conquer into the world. Well, that's not what some people needed at all. So I was thinking I was doing such a fabulous job by telling everyone my opinion on how the world would be better if you would do it my way. And that's not what they needed. So in order to be a good spectator in someone's arena, you got to figure out what they need in the way of feedback, in the way of, that type of thing. In addition, when you are in the arena and you are the one in the center being watched by all of the spectators, I'm going to use discernment a lot here in this hour together. How do you discern? When you go to an arena or a theater or wherever you're going to go to watch someone, there are cheap seats, there are kind of mid-level seats, and then there are the VIP seats, okay? The mid-level seats kind of sort themselves out. Who you really need to pay attention to are the people in the cheap seats and the people in the VIP seats. People in the cheap seats, you have to be aware of, because those are the people that are capable of dragging you down really, really quick if you allow them to be in your ear constantly. We are all human. We can get the best feedback from somebody. I mean, we could get a great evaluation from somebody on something that we've done. They can say one thing that we can do better. What are we going to focus on? We're going to focus on the one thing that they said that we can do better, because we're human. That's what we do. I evaluated teachers for a living. And, I knew that the things that I told them that they could improve on, that's all they'd focus on. They wouldn't focus on the 50 great things I told them they did with that lesson. They would focus on what I told them they could improve on. That's all they'd want to focus on. Well, the people in the cheap seats are the people that really don't know you. They're not in your immediate circle. They don't know you. They think they might know you, but they don't. And we all have people like this in our lives. We certainly have them as creators, that they think they know us because we're on YouTube and doing our thing, and they don't know us. They don't know our story. They don't know our struggles. They don't know really anything about us, but they think they do. If you let those people in your ear, you're not going to be uplifted and you're not going to improve. You're not. Because all they want to do is be critical, tear you down, and offer advice that may not be useful to you. The other people who you want to pay attention to. The only reason you want to pay attention to the people in the cheap seats is to realize that that's where they belong. That's where they belong. They belong in the cheap seats. They don't belong in the VIP section. Your VIP people are your inner circle, and they are the people that you have selected to let in to that circle, and you have selected to listen to. There are people, surprisingly, there are people in my VIP seats that are in my inner circle that don't even know. They don't even know they're there. But I value their opinion so much, and I may not even know them that well, but they have offered me such good advice, and not only offered me advice or offered me feedback, when they offer me something that I can improve on, they give me a solution. If they come into me with a problem, they say, you know what, this is a problem, I can't live with this, or Kara, you might want to think about doing this, and here's how I think you can do it. Those are the people that care about you. They have thought of how you can make yourself better. There are no better people than that. Like I said, there are people sitting in my VIP seats in my arena that don't know they're there. They don't know that I think that way about them. I think something I could improve on is perhaps telling those people, you know what, you are a valuable person in my life, and I thank you for the feedback that you give me, because it makes me better. It makes me better. And a lot of times the people that are giving you that feedback and making you better don't even know they're doing it. They just exist to make people's lives better. You know people like this, right? Those are the people you want in your VIP seats in your arena. You have to discern who is going where, okay? You have to also decide, are you in the right arena? Have you found your people? Have you found your tribe? Are you in the right arena? That takes discernment. Sometimes, and this is a tough one, sometimes you have to switch out your spectator seats. Sometimes you got to take some of your VIPs and put them in mid-level seating or cheap seating, depending on your situation, what's happened. That's tough. But what makes it tougher is when you go public with it. You don't have to go public with it. You just switch their seats in your brain, and that's all you need to do. You don't need to go public and talk to the world about how the person has wronged you or how you've had thus and so with so and so. Nobody needs to know that. It's nobody's business. And you're going to get people involved that aren't even involved, which makes it a complete mess. So if you have to switch someone's seats in your arena, you do that. Just keep it to yourself. Nobody needs to know. Sometimes the person you've switched seats doesn't even know. You know, you got people in all your seats that don't know that they're there, and you don't have to advertise who's sitting where. That's up to you. That's helpful to you in your situation, okay? But just be mindful and use really good discernment on who you let in your ear and who you let give you advice or tell you how things should be. I always say this too. People are either anchors or propellers. You do not want the anchors being your VIP people. You don't want them in your VIP seats in your arena. You want the propellers in your VIP seats in your arena. That's who you want there. So just be mindful of that. If you constantly feel like you are, tired, being brought down, negative, I get bothered when I get negative. And again, I'm not perfect at any of this, okay? I'm sure I'm in somebody's cheap seats in some arena. I'm sure I am. But when I feel myself getting overly negative, I mean, it's human nature to want to blow off steam and call your friend and say, look, I just need to vent for a minute. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting overly negative. The world is terrible. My life is terrible. Everything is horrible. That's when you got to take a step back and go, yeah, maybe I need to adjust myself a little. It bothers me when I get that way. But when I get that way, who am I hanging out with? Who do I have in my ear that's possibly adding to? Maybe not causing, but adding to. All of this needs to be in your mind when you're thinking about your arena. Okay. Let's see. Here's another thing. You also need to choose the arenas you attend. Just like you choose the concerts you go to, the TV shows you watch, all of that is providing input and giving you, is inputting into your brain things that are positive, things that are negative. What you're choosing to watch, what you're choosing to let come into your mental space greatly impacts. I mean, I will tell you, I am a true crime junkie. I love it. I was watching a true crime show before this principal's office hour. Probably shouldn't have. But if I watch too much true crime, I can feel myself getting like, oh my gosh, not in a good headspace at all. So I got to get out of there and I got to watch a comedy, or I got to turn on something that positively impacts me. So again, watch whose arena you go to, okay? And if you're in the wrong arena, you'll be able to tell, I promise. You will. Again, discernment is a key word here. This is a tough one, guys. Being honest is an arena. I very much value people that are honest. And sometimes being honest is super hard. But being honest is an arena. Sometimes if you are honest with somebody and you don't know what their reaction is going to be, that is scary as all get out. But being honest, and possibly causing some conflict is an arena. Now, You will know that you are in the right arena based on the response by said person. I had to be honest with somebody today and wrote the message, and I got such a favorable response back. I knew I was in the right arena. I did. I didn't know how this person was going to take what I had to say. It was beautiful. I probably felt better than she did at the end, right? So you will automatically know by people's responses whether they're in the right seats in your arena or whether you are in the right arena or not, okay, based on what your objective is. All right. So honesty is definitely an arena. Now, when you think about honesty, you think about being honest with other people, you also need to think about pulling the curtain back. Marlon calls it pulling the curtain back, right? We can all look good on a stage when the curtain's closed. But there are things behind that curtain that may not be so pretty. They may not be so in order. Like I said, it takes company for my house to get clean, right? But we want to put on a good front. In that vein, if somebody allows you into their VIP section of their arena and is honest with you, if you are hearing their story, that is an honorable place to be, because not everybody deserves to hear your story. There are battles that people are fighting every day that we know nothing about. Y'all, there are battles that I have fought that would shock you, because I know there are people out there that think my life is absolutely perfect, and it is not. There are battles that every single one of us is fighting that we don't choose to share with the world, and that is absolutely our right. But when we do choose to share it with somebody, if that information is shared with you, if that story is shared with you, guard it with your life, protect it with your life, and you need to feel very honored that that person shared that with you, because not everybody deserves to hear my story. Not everyone deserves to hear your story. And this goes without saying, that story is nobody but that person's to share. It's not you. Even if you know it, it's not yours to share. It's not your story. It's theirs to share. So protect it and just feel very honored that that person decided to be that raw and that vulnerable with you. Okay? I always do. I truly do. There were things that teachers shared with me, that I just broke my heart and just didn't share. And some of the stories that were shared with me, again, you think you have a perception of somebody looking at them from the outside, and you don't. You have absolutely no idea what battles that person is fighting. I remember an exercise I did with my 8th graders one day. They were just having a problem with being horribly, horribly mean to each other. I don't know what was going on, but I was over it. I was tired of it. They were just being mean to be mean, and truly cruel. And so I brought in to lunch one day. They're all sitting there eating lunch. I brought in a steamer trunk. I brought in a suitcase, regular size suitcase. I brought a carry-on, and I brought a backpack. 4 different sized bags. And of course, somebody that was feeling bold that day was like, "Miss Daniels, what are you doing bringing luggage into lunch?" I said, "Good question. Good question. I'm so glad you asked that, and I'm so glad you noticed." Because they don't notice anything most of the time. I said, "Guys," I'm using this as a metaphor. I'm using this as kind of a story to tell you, kind of like the arena story that I told you at the beginning of this. And I said, take a look at these things. I said, you know how I've told you everyone's fighting a battle you know nothing about. And they're all like, yeah. I said, what kind of battles would be the size of a steamer trunk? Death. I got death, I got divorce, that kind of thing. Somebody has cancer. Yes, that is right. That's the size of a steamer trunk. What about the size of a suitcase? A pet dies. You maybe lose a friendship. You have to move somewhere. That's about the size of, you got it, size of a suitcase, okay? What about a carry-on bag? You failed a test. You had a fight with your friend. We went on and on. The backpack was, one kid raised his hand. He goes, well, I take a backpack with me every day. So I kind of see the backpack as, well, I'm walking into school. I really don't have any problems. So that's the backpack. And I said, that's really a good metaphor. Out of the mouths of babes, kids say the most interesting things. And I said, okay. I said, I want you to know that some of the teachers, some of the kids, me, I said that you're teasing and you're being rude to are walking in with invisible baggage every day. You don't see that they're carrying a steamer trunk. You don't see that they're carrying a suitcase or a carry-on bag or a backpack, but they're all carrying something. And you're just adding to their burden that they're carrying. That's what I brought these suitcases in to show you. That's what I'm showing. That's what I'm here to illustrate, is everybody, whether you can see it or not, is carrying something they may not ever be telling you about. So that being said, my point is I go through life assuming that everyone is doing the very best they can with the resources that they have. Again, do I do a perfect job at this? No. Am I judgy sometimes? Yes. Am I a human being? Yes. So I'm going to fall short of the mark a lot. But I think if we can just take maybe this topic and just kind of remind ourselves, tuck it in the back of our mind. If you want a copy of the Man in the Arena speech, just Google Man in the Arena. It'll come up with a speech. I will put the Brene Brown book in the description of this video so that if you're interested in that particular book, I'm a book nerd, I just am. You can get it off of Amazon. I just think it's a great book. But I hope that what I said today made sense. I hope that you're walking away thinking about our arenas, other people's arenas, how we function as spectators in those arenas. And I will wrap up by saying this. If you have a passion, get out there. That's your challenge. Get out there. Get in the arena. If you fail, you will fail daring greatly. It's easier said than done, but I want you to challenge yourself to do that. You'll be glad that you did. There's a reason, there's a saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You got to take the shot. I mean, again, this whole principal's office hour could completely be 100% a complete flop and people could not like it. Or it could be a great thing and inspire people and people, want me to continue doing it. I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking at this point. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to turn out to be, but I saw something that I felt strongly about, that I felt like people needed some positivity in their lives, in Diamond Paintingville, wherever. And I just thought maybe I could contribute in some small way to that. And so this is my arena and this is what I'm doing. I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but I'll find out, And if it's bad, I'll either fix it or won't do it anymore. Or if it's good, I will continue. And I'm sure there are people that will have opinions and, think that I can do stuff better. And I will take those constructive criticisms and improve. The worst thing that can happen is that you fail daring greatly. And if you have the right people around you in your VIP seats, It won't be as hard of a fall. I promise. I promise. And if we have learned anything about being good spectators, we're here to lift each other up. We're here to make each other better. And if you can do that in some small way for somebody, do it. The world needs more of you. The world needs more of that. Do that. Okay? So I will summarize because I've thrown a lot of information at you. I will summarize. The person that suggested this to me is in my VIP seating. She knows who she is. I talked to her when I was thinking about this a while ago. And she said, Kara, this is gentle feedback. And I know she was giving me feedback. She said, Kara, you throw a lot of information at people in your videos. She said, I think it would be very helpful. See, she's coming at me with a solution. She's probably sitting there watching this right now, cracking up. She came at me with a solution. She said, I think to help that, at the end of what you're going to do, you summarize, you communicate what you want people to walk away with. And I thought, dang, that's good. Okay. So I'm going to summarize with this. Figure out what your arena is. What's your arena? How can you be a better spectator in others' arenas? Who are you going to let into your good seats, your VIP seats, and who are you going to relegate to the cheap seats? And again, don't make that public. Just do it in your brain. Nobody needs to know that. Practice some discernment when deciding what you're going to do about all that. Okay? And choose whose arenas you go to. That's important. All of those things that I've talked about are important. And I hope that this principal's office hour has made you think a little bit. And I always challenge you to do something that scares you every day. This is scary for me, believe it or not. Like I said, I can talk paint off a wall, but this is scary because I don't know how this is going to come across. But I will end with this. It's something that I found, and I think I will end every principal's office hour with this because I love it. I found this a little bit ago, but it just hit me, and it's like, it's so true. It says, a shout out to everyone who is trying right now, trying to do the right thing, trying to stay open, trying to keep going, trying to hold on, trying to let go, trying to find their flow, trying to stay afloat, trying to meet each new day, trying to find their balance, trying to love themselves, trying new things and new ways. I see you. I'm there too. We're in this together. All right, that's what I've got for you for volume 1 of the Principal's Office Hour. I will come to you again week 4 of October with a whole nother topic. And I'm going to end, I forgot to show you this at the beginning, so I'll show it to you at the end, and hopefully it'll connect with you. This is the only thing I'll have you look at. Look up, if you're working on crafting, just look up for a second. This is the FedEx sign. I printed this off because a wise person showed me this a long time ago, and I've never looked at the FedEx logo the same way. We know this logo. It's been on trucks. It's been on many boxes that we've ordered, perhaps. It says FedEx. It's got the trademark. Has anybody noticed the arrow in the FedEx? If you haven't, you will never look at the FedEx logo the same way again. FedEx did this on purpose. They put this arrow in their logo for people, A, to discover, and B, it's kind of saying, FedEx, we get your package from here to there. That's the arrow. I hadn't noticed it. Maybe some of you have already noticed it, but I hadn't noticed it. So it is my goal in these Principal's Office Hours to have you look at things a little bit differently. All right, that's what I've got for you. I hope that you've taken something away. I would appreciate your feedback in the comments. And I will let you go. It is time for me. I'm filming this at night, so it's time for me to go relax because, I've got a lot of adrenaline pumping right now, And so I just need to, woo-saw, and I think I'm going to go have an ice cream sandwich. That sounds good. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again so much for those of you that have stuck with me and watched this. Hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.